saving the innocent from corporate radio. It's Wednesday night. It's now time for Ohio is on Fire, the show where Ohio throws down. I am here with you once again. We are live in Dayton, Ohio, Fairborn, Dayton, Ohio, here at WWSU's radio station, campus of Rice University. I am back again, and we have a great show planned for you for tonight. 2 weeks ago, a snowstorm prevented us from having these guys on, but they are back tonight. No storm is going to stop us tonight. We got Thundertaker. They are a hard rock band from Dayton, Ohio. Of course, the lead singer is my good friend Parisa, and the other members of the band, they are coming here tonight. They're scheduled, so that's coming up later on. And plus, I'll share my thoughts on certain things in my life towards the end of the show. Of course, throughout this show, in between my live segments, I play music. And I got a cool playlist that I've created for tonight's show. And of course, if you wish to request a song, I can do that. You have to call me at 937-775-5555. So I'll replay your requested song, but I have a special playlist that I've made. I will get to that. I will talk about that in a little bit. It's a really cool mixture that I've made. But listen, bowl season is over in football. With football, 2 weeks ago was the Super Bowl, and then in college, last week was the Senior Bowl. And for like 3 months straight, there's nothing but bowls. Bowl, 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 bowl. There's always a bowl. And you know what? I have some news for you guys. There are actually some bowl games out there that have been rejected. And once they get, if anyone ever approves of these bowls, these will be these bowl games will be a reality. And I'm the only person in the world that knows about these bowls. So if I would take this time on this radio show that I have for you tonight and share that little secret. I got a list of bowls that have been rejected and they're waiting approval. And I got a little list here, so and I'll describe what these bowls are. So bear with me. Yes, I'm the only person in the world that knows it, but until now, because now you guys will know. One bowl idea that's been floating around is the Roll Tide Pod Bowl. What it is, you have these idiot college students that are taking the Tide Pod Challenge, have them take the challenge, then play at the University of Alabama, have them play them with no pads on. That way, when the kids get hit, they will vomit liquid detergent. Imagine the visual on that. I think that's a wonderful idea. Roll Tide Pod Bowl. Write it down. Alright, the next bowl idea that's being floated out there, it's Star Wars The Last Jedi Bowl. Now, this will be a great game, but Mark Hamill will be disappointed. Alright, that one person thought it was funny. I have people that walk by the studio and they tell me if they like what they're hearing or not, and that got an approval. That was funny. Alright, up next, we got the Louis C.K. Bowl. What it is, he does a stand-up comedy act at halftime. Then he shows the referee his wiener, and then he gets kicked out of the stadium because that is inappropriate. All Louis C.K. Why do you have to do stuff like that? So that's the Louis C.K. Bowl. Up next, we got the NRA Bowl. This will feature the Michigan Wolverines. That way, we can now see why it's a bad idea to have guns owned by those with mental health issues. Because to play for the Michigan Wolverines, you got to have mental health issues. And they shouldn't own guns either, so that'll be a good teachable moment to have the NRA Bowl. Then we also got Lamb Chop Bowl. Now, there was an old TV show that used to be on PBS when I was a kid called Lamb Chop. But there's going to be a bowl game named after that show, the Lamb Chop Bowl. It'll be the game that never ends. This is the game that never ends. This is the game that never ends. Do-do-do-do-do. You know, anyone that remembers that show when they were 5 like I was, yeah, you'll know that song I just sung, you'll know what I'm talking about. That may have flew over some people's heads, but oh well. Another bowl game that's floating out there is a Generation Bowl. And this game would feature millennial football players taking on Gen X football players. The millennials will lose this game and they will blame their loss on the generation before it. Then Gen X will blame the baby boomers for their issues, and so forth, because the generation right now blames the one before. It's always that way. So that's the Generation Bowl. Up next on this list, and this very special list that I've discovered, it is the Podcast Bowl. The QB on either team, they have to download the next play from iTunes. So that's what the Podcast Bowl is all about. Alright, now up next we got the Amazon.com Bowl. Teams are paid 50% of all Blu-ray purchases. Click on the ad at midfield. So that's how that works for the Amazon.com bowl. Another bowl that's out there is the Red Lobster Bowl. Yes, we got all these food sponsors that sponsor bowls, like the Chick-fil-A Bowl. That's a legit bowl over in Georgia. Well, now we got the Red Lobster Bowl. They're going to get into the game. And the winning team wins a lifetime supply of Cheddar Bay biscuits. Yeah! Now this I stand for. I want in, coach. I want to win this game and win that lifetime supply of Cheddar Bay biscuits and that creamy tartar sauce and that fried fish. That's my Homer Simpson when he thinks of food and he slobbers everywhere. All right. And I got one more bowl on this list. And it's the last but greatest idea yet for a bowl game that's not out there. It's the Mr. Cleaner Bowl. The Mr. Cleaner Toilet Bowl. Yes, the worst two teams in all football play each other. The losing team actually wins something. The losing team, to celebrate the fact that they're the worst team in all football, they win a lifetime supply of Mr. Cleaner toilet supplies. They get a big bucket of that liquid. They get a mop, a broom, and yeah, the whole 9 yards. They win a lifetime supply. Just a reminder that they suck at life and they suck at football. So those are my list of bowls that are not out there right now. Rejected bowl games, if you will. So remember, you heard it here first. These are bowl games. They could happen one day. And we are back with Ohio is on Fire. I am the one and only Daniel Diesel. It is now time for everyone's favorite segment. And yes, I got some good news. It's now got theme music. The theme music is back. It's the Winter Olympics. And what better way for to show tribute to the Winter Olympics than to use their theme song to introduce this next segment. I'm talking about a little segment called OMVP. And that stands for Ohio's Most Valuable Pedestrian. Ooh, ah, here it is, the music. Yeah. Here's where I chime in. Do, 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 do. Do 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 do. Alright, that is enough of that. Yes, that's the theme music to OMVP. Now OMVP goes to an individual or a group of people that is associated with the state of Ohio, and they did something very interesting that caught people's eye, something that made people pop, if you will. So, and of course, there is a backstory to talk about OMVP. So let's get to that backstory. This article comes from Cincinnati.com. But the title of the article is Ohio River Flood, Man Dives In. So late Tuesday night, which was this past week, just a few days ago, Northern Kentucky University student Nick Montag did something that is neither recommended by local health officials nor understood by this newsroom staff. He went for a swim in the Ohio River at Smale Park, where it overflowed its banks. And if you haven't seen the video yet, I'll show you the I'll play a little bit of clip. This guy, he has no shirt on. Look at all that water. There's a lot of water there, and he is swimming. Look at him go! He's doing a backstroke. Oh, it's wonderful. He's backstroking all the way to the Ohio River, and look at him go, 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 go. Yeah, you win the gold medal. Good for you, buddy. So that's him. So what would cause him to do such a thing? He tweeted his thoughts on the whole thing. He said, "Take a swim in the flooded part of downtown today. I refuse to live a normal life." Well, good for you, Nick Montag. Now back to the article. On Tuesday, the 23-year-old resident of Highland Heights, Kentucky, and former resident of Ohio, donned turquoise swim trunks and announced on Snapchat that he was going to play in the river. With his friend Connor Ray, a fellow NKU student, holding the camera, Montag dove into the overflowing river just west of the Roebling Bridge. To be honest, I thought to myself, it won't get this high again for a while, so hey, carpe diem, Montag said, when asked what motivated him to dive into the river. Montag described his swimming technique as a combination of backstroke and breaststroke. The water was super cold, but he didn't realize that during times of heavy rainfall and flooding, that raw sewage can be discharged into the river. And this is his quote, "I was not aware. That is pretty gross." Yes, it is, says this article. Still, he said that he was glad that he dove into the river. He just isn't sure he would do it again. This is a one-time experience. So Nick Montag, you are something else. And there was another article. Cincinnati.com also had a video report on this. Let's go ahead and play that. Get that uploaded. But yes, I've never done this myself, so I don't know what would encourage someone else to do it. But this is something that he did that. Okay, here's the article. Yeah, there was a flood throughout the Cincinnati area, so various places had high water levels in the woods, the city, the suburban neighborhoods. Floods can be very dangerous. But I tell you right now that did not stop Nick Montag, our new hero. So Nick Montag, it's good that you're still alive. You did not die from this stunt. But let me tell you something, Nick Montag. You are something else. You have won an award for your efforts. For this episode of Ohio is on Fire, Nick Montag, you are OMVP, Ohio's most valuable pedestrian. You get a round of applause. I'm clapping because you are amazing. OMVP forever. And we are back live with Ohio is on Fire. I am the host, Daniel Diesel. And a quick note, I am now joined for this segment by the one and only DJ Beauty. She's going to help me with this interview. But say hello, DJ Beauty.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to the show. We got our guest of the night. They are a band. Of course, the storm kept them from being here 2 weeks ago, but they are back with a vengeance. They are the band Thundertaker from Dayton, Ohio. But we got two of the members. We got Parisa and we got Ken Walker, Ohio Ranger. Say hello, you two.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Yes, so welcome to the show, you guys. Now, Parisa, in this live, since I've known you, I've noticed three things. There's three things that are guaranteed in life. Death, taxes, and your hair changing color. So what's that all about? What's going on with your hair?
Yes, I love to dye my hair, and it's been through many stages of many colors over the years. I think when we were in class together, it was all blonde. And now the black's kind of growing out again.
Yes.
I'm glad you asked the question, though, because we're all trying to figure it out. There's no rhyme or reason to her hair color changing, so it's just, it's always a surprise.
It's a mystery. All right. Well, that solves that. Parisa does it herself. Now, there's the four of you in Thundertaker. How do you guys bond? Like, you guys make music or you guys travel? You guys spend a lot of time. How do you guys bond in a positive way?
Gosh, I think it's just through, making music together and practicing and just hanging out and having fun. We're all good friends, and
okay.
I think the bonding's just been a natural thing,
Okay.
Yeah, we all love nerding out over music, and prerequisite to the band is watching School of Rock.
Yes, I love that movie. That's a good movie. So the four of you were, before starting this band, you guys were good friends, and it's like, hey, let's do a band. Is that what happened?
Well, the three, I'm new to the band.
You're newer.
I joined last year,
okay.
Just almost a year ago now. But yeah, those three have been together for, 3-4 years now, right?
Yeah, coming up on 4 years.
Cool, that is awesome. Now, these concerts, sometimes they go great, sometimes they go out of control. Every once in a while, a fan will take it on his own to rush the stage and do something stupid. So I just want to know, Parisa, has there ever been a time during your performances that someone's rushed the stage and gave you a good smack?
Nothing that crazy. We don't have that kind of a crowd. We don't have the mosh crowd.
You never been attacked. No beer bottles.
I'm kind of glad. We have more of the rush, kind of like everybody nodding their head in the audience, mouthing to the words. It's never been that crazy. High five, sure. Yeah, all day. But
we've not done any shows where they have chicken wire in front of the stage. We haven't had to do those yet. So.
Oh man.
No rushing the stage.
Well, when you guys make it, that's going to happen. You'll need chicken wire. That's good to know that you haven't been hurt yet. Now, this band has made 2 albums. Where were they recorded? Who helped you record these albums?
Those were recorded at Studio G in Middletown.
Cool.
Eric Stewart and Gino Stewart were the producers.
Well, that is awesome. Okay, I have heard of them. And now, Chris, you guys have a newer album, Alternative Universe, which we'll actually play 2 songs from that track in just a little bit. You had a previous album, and I was just curious, what was the theme of that album? What were you guys going for from your previous album?
Yes, I can answer that.
Yes.
We kind of started sticking to this theme. Our first album was kind of space, and we kind of hit this point of like discussing themes that were kind of psychological. Based, talking about not quite SJW topics, but something in that realm.
Okay.
Just kind of raising awareness of different social issues. I like to almost purposefully kind of steer away from topics of like love and heartbreak and relationships. I feel like that's a little overdone, and I think there's so much more to talk about. I think we have this platform to, you know, if you could tell anybody anything, what would you want them to know? And, so yeah, I talk a lot about, let's see, class warfare.
Yes.
Just kind of like slightly on the political side, not too political, but, mostly from a social standpoint.
Well, yeah, that is excellent. Okay, that helps. Well, yeah, because I just noticed some of the track albums. Yeah, it looked like it was deep conversation within the track, the track name. So I was just curious about that. So, all right, that explains that. Thanks for that, Parisa. You guys are called Thundertaker. I really dig that name, so I am now curious. I have to ask this: are you guys wrestling fans?
Not me, no. Are you a wrestling fan?
I'm not either. I think Craig and Ryan are both wrestling fans. But,
Maybe, because I think Thundertaker, that rhymes with Undertaker, as in the big WWE superstar, so I was curious if there was a wrestling connection there.
Oh, we get that a lot, though. That's
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
okay, Thundertaker. Well, there are also regular Undertakers where they help bury dead people, so it is a real occupation. So, well, then let me ask you this: you guys have any connection with the dead? Like, what's the story? Do you know the story behind the name?
I do. I came up with it actually, surprisingly,
Yes.
even though I'm not a fan of wrestling. It kind of has a nerdier reference. It's from a strategy card game, actually.
Cool, okay.
And I pitched it to the band, and I was like, hey, does this sound way too metal? But I really like the play on words. The card was called The Undertaker.
Yes.
I was like, hey, that's something we can kind of work with. Our songs kind of have maybe a little bit darker, a little bit more gothic, if you will. And I pitched it to them, and it kind of stuck ever since. They were like, "Oh my gosh, we love it!" And we get both sides of that coin. We either get people that really, really love it, or that's like, it's terrible. What is this?
All right. Well, it is a cool name. I think it's cool that the haters out there, they can hate all they want. It's Undertaker. Deal with it. All right. Cool name. DJ Beauty. Do you have any thoughts or any questions for our band?
For those who don't know, do you guys do your own music, right?
Oh yes, yeah. We
Yes.
are an original band
Right.
from Dayton, Ohio, and we are hard rock, kind of in theatrical rock realm.
We'll throw a few covers in the set, but for it's almost all original music.
We are back live with Ohio is on Fire, because I'm with bandmates from Thundertaker, Parisa, a good friend of mine. We also got Ken Walker. They are half of the band Thundertaker. The other two, they were abducted by aliens, so we wish them well. Of course, I am joined by DJ Beauty. She's waving at me, so thank you for being on the show, everyone. We're going to have a roundtable discussion. We agreed that we want to have a good conversation about something that we care about. We're going to talk about the comic book industry, because we all love comic books. Because I was the former president of the Comic Book League, and you two love comics. So we're going to get into it. So, Ken, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the current comic book scene? What do you care about?
On the current comic
I gotta
book
tell
scene.
you, I know zero about the current comic book scene.
But you watch a lot of
Not seen Black Panther yet.
Nope.
You do watch a lot of comic book
No, you've
movies.
been misled, sir. I'm sorry.
But we was going to talk about comic. Well, do you
He
like?
does love Aquaman.
All right, tell us why you love
I
Aquaman.
just think Aquaman's always gotten a raw deal, man. Everybody thinks he doesn't do anything, but I always thought he was a pretty cool guy.
I should point out that I think Aquaman gets a lot of crap because there was a really awful video game that came out for the PlayStation 2 many years ago. It was considered one of the worst It was the Aquaman the video game. It was based on him. It was considered one of the worst video games ever made. So maybe that's why people hate on him. And of course, that movie that they came out with him last year, it was pretty good. It was and he looked cool. So perhaps maybe his name has been reconciled. So yeah, Aquaman should we should get rid of the hate for Aquaman. I think you're right about that.
It's time,
Ken. So Parisa, within comic books, what do you read books, watch the movies?
Yes, to both. I guess my favorite comic book hero, if I had to pick like a lawful good character, I would say Blink from the X-Men series.
Okay.
Mostly because I love her portal gun powers. You could be
Wow.
so lazy with that. You never have to go anywhere.
Is there a book that you're reading right now? Or recently?
Well, actually, I think the most recent, I read Scott Pilgrim just a little while ago. Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not technically in the comic book realm, but a very similar graphic novel.
Well, graphic novels are considered comic books, and as long as there's art. So that's I like the movie. I really want to read the book. I've seen the movie, and it was a really pretty kick-ass movie. So I enjoyed that. Of course,
Another good comic.
yes. So DJ Beauty, what are your thoughts on the comic book industry? Do you read it?
Lately, the comic book industry has gone downhill. The originals are better.
We
In all
say
honesty.
originals like the
The comic books that you can go to like a store like the Laughing Ogre, and you can get like original comic books, like the stuff that's still. Some of them are still mint condition, but most of them are older, like the older.
The golden age. So the golden age of comics. You're saying those were better stories than say the
Yeah.
new. And I kind of would agree. I think even though I love Batman and Ninja Turtles and all, it seems like every year there's a new version of these guys. That's something I've complained about to other comic book readers in the past, that we keep revitalizing like even in movies like Spider-Man, we've brought him back again. We're now on the third incarnation of Spider-Man in the movie universe, and in Batman we've had 4 different Batmans in the movie universe. Instead of pushing new comic book stars, we just keep bringing the same back. We keep bringing the same ones back over and over and over again. So, what do you guys think? Are we? DJ Beauty touched up on something. We keep bringing back the ones that are tried and true. What do you guys think of that? Are we regurgitating the same ones over and over again?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's lame. I think we should, let new characters kind of have the limelight. I think there's a lot of good stories that don't get told in the modern Marvel or DC films.
I am happy that Miss Marvel's finally going to appear in the movies, because I thought that was a good story, and that's going to be I think that's coming out this summer or next summer. It's going to be Brie Larson's playing Miss Marvel, so I am looking forward to that.
That's cool.
So that's news, yeah. So yeah, we are getting new characters. Plus Black Panther. That's the first time there's ever been a comic motion picture movie on him. So we're slowly, very slowly, we are introducing new characters to the big screen and having all these people buy tickets and get introduced to these guys. So that is cool.
Yeah.
I kind of think there's a few movements I would love to see in comic books. One would be new characters besides Batman and Superman. The ones I would like to see them go away for a while, and have new characters starting the films. Also, I would love to see. There's something called the real life superhero movement, in which there are those in the real world that we live in. They go out and fight crime. They're like they're kind of like bounty hunters. They report crime. They go out and stop it, but they're dressed up in costume. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the real life superhero movement. I think it's really. I think it's really. It is a real thing. Yes, you can look it up. I'd love to see more movies based on that. Of course, there was Kick-Ass that came out. That's the only one that I know of that kind of got a story made that was based on the real life superhero movie, the real life superhero movement. But there needs to be more. I think we're just scratching the surface on it. So, yeah, DJ Beauty, are you aware of the real life superhero movement?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Okay.
There's another new superhero, Doctor Strange.
Yes, he came out recently. All right. So more about comic books. Do you guys listen to podcasts that's based on comic books? Parisa, I guess you'd be the best one to ask.
Not so much podcasts per se, but
Do you watch it's that channel? They have a lot of comic related stuff. AMC. Yes, they were the same channel that aired Breaking Bad. Is that am I correct? AMC, is that the correct channel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, they have a lot of comic book stuff on there. They have Kevin Smith hosting the show. They've had documentaries where Stan Lee has appeared. So do you watch any of that stuff?
Not so much. Mostly just on Twitch, but just like Twitch streamers and
Twitch. Yeah, I've heard of Twitch. I've never really watched that much Twitch. What's on Twitch? What's that about?
Mostly in the gaming industry.
Mostly all video
They just
games.
kind of branch out into other fields. Anything that's related, Injustice, all of that.
Okay, I'll have to check into that because I've heard of Twitch, but I've never really taken a lot of time to check.
But they can do like themes on different.
Okay, cool. Twitch.com. I'll have to check into that. Well, any more thoughts on the subject of comic books? Because I can't think of anything else.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
she can go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, go ahead, Parisa.
Oh, I was gonna say not so much. We do have a song called "The Anti-Hero." Because I was gonna say I'm not so
Anti-hero.
much for lawful good as we are kind of the rogue characters.
That's
Cool.
Right
Maybe a chaotic neutral.
All right.
Antihero's new material that we have. We're getting ready to go into the studio here in the next month, and that's one of the tunes in that batch of songs.
Okay, Anti-Hero. Okay, well, I do look forward to that track coming out.
And it's all about kind of how no one's right or wrong. There's always kind of the morally gray line, obviously, like an anti-hero,
All right, now a little note on comic books with Parisa. I used to be the president of the Comic Book League, which is right here at Wright State University on campus. I have since passed it on to a new leader. Last year, one of the cool things I did, we had a special stand-up comedy event. The comedians that were on the show, they had to do jokes based on comic books. We had 21 performers that night. And of course, I was the host of the show, and Parisa was in the audience because I sent invites to all my friends. Parisa took upon herself to be there, so that was really cool. And we had a lot of people in the audience that night. I think like 40 or 50 people. It was one of the biggest turnouts we ever had for the Comic Book League. We also were raising money for our league because we had like fundraiser tickets for Gym City Comic Con, and we raised $63 that night. So it was a really cool night. And Parisa was there. So thank you once again for being there, Parisa.
no problem.
Being a
It was
good
lot of fun.
friend. All right, so and yes, I need to check out Black Panther. I heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't watched it yet. I'll try to maybe tomorrow afternoon before, because I still go every once in a while. I still go to league meetings, even though I'm not the president. So I will be there tomorrow night, and we'll have a good discussion on Black Panther, hopefully. So other things before you guys leave us tonight, there's some few other things we can discuss. But you got Alternative Universe that is out now on your Bandcamp. You guys perform live concerts. Talk about your upcoming shows that people can check you out at.
We are playing Friday at Urban Artifact in Cincinnati.
This Friday.
Really cool venue in north side of Cincinnati.
Yes.
That's February 23rd. A couple of great bands with us too. The Motel Faces from Cincinnati and Salvador Ross.
Yes,
from
I've
here in
heard.
Dayton.
Cool.
So that's coming up. We're playing in Columbus on March 9th at Victory's Live.
Yeah.
With conversion delay. So that
Okay.
should be a really, really fun show for us.
Yeah.
Madison Live down in Kentucky.
Yes.
That's coming up on March 17th. So those are the next 3 shows we have coming up.
Okay. Where for websites, where can fans find? Where are you guys most active at? Based on the websites fans can find you at, where can you be found?
We are at thundertakerband.com.
Okay.
And then we're also on Facebook.
Yes, I got the Facebook feed. It's facebook.com/ThundertakerBand. So fans at home, do a search for that, and you'll get to their Facebook page. Of course, Parisa and Ken were here tonight. There are 2 other bandmates that are in. They couldn't be here tonight. And we got Ryan Palcic. He's the bass player for the band. And we got Craig Bishop, who is on drums. So we're saying hello to you guys if you are listening, or if you're in outer space still, being kidnapped by the aliens. So hello. Is there anything else you guys wish to talk about before you guys leave tonight? Any shout outs or any thoughts?
Not that I can think of. We're just trying to branch out of in the regional area.
Yes.
You know, outside
Check them.
being-
They're on tour now. Yes. Visit them
You
and
can find our album, Alternate Universe. That
Yes.
just came out. Please find it at a show.
And we're back in Dayton on April 6th, opening for
Yes.
our good friend Stella's Demise is releasing a new CD, so we're going to be playing at their release party at Oscars. That's April 6th.
Well, excellent. I will try to catch that because it's on my to-do list to catch a Thundertaker concert. I haven't done it yet. So, yes, April 6th, I have that marked. I will try to be there. I'm interested. So we'll see. But, all right. Well, what a good conversation. Parisa and Ken, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Of this show. Next week, we're doing something very special next Wednesday night. It is going to be the Ohio's on Fire Podcast Movement Special. Yes, we are dedicating the show to podcasting. Podcasting has really exploded in this country and throughout the world. It is the newest art form of this century. And we're going to talk about it. I have two really cool guests that's going to be live in the studio next week. We will have Gem City Podcast. Izzy, Mark, and Libby from Gem City Podcast. They will be here next week. I am excited to have them on. Yeah, they got a really cool show that covers life in Dayton, Ohio, and they will be here. And also, I will have Brandon Berry and Tyler Wise. They are from a podcast called Coffee with Idiots. I've been a guest on their show before, and I'll be back on it next month as they do their set of recordings. Coffee with Idiots, Brandon and Tyler, they will be here. And also, we will have a special roundtable discussion on podcasting and its effect on the current scene, the entertainment scene, and in general, like we're going to discuss the true value of podcasting and its future. We'll talk about the past, present, and future of podcasting. But not only that, but I got to tell you something else I've been involved with. There's a class going on Facebook. It is the Podcast Movement 28-Day Challenge. It's what it is. I've been involved in this class since day one, and it was free of charge for me to do. But what we're doing, we're learning how to launch a podcast in 28 days. I am doing this with over 200 people from around the world. A lot of them are from here, this country. We have people in Europe, people in other parts of the world. It's really cool. We're learning from each other. We're learning what we like. We're learning software that you can use for podcasting. But several members of this class, they're going to call into the show. They have the number. They will join us during this live broadcast. I am hoping for a really big audience, as I've invited every last one of them to listen to the show, and several of them will call in. I do not know who yet. Of course, one of the big guys that's running the 28-day challenge, he's in charge of the challenge, is Jared Esley. I am hoping he will call in next week. He's a well-known name in the podcasting community, so I hope to have him on. So that's next Wednesday night, so stay tuned for that. Yes, Gem City Podcasts, Coffee with Idiots, and members of the podcast movement community. That's part of the 28-day challenge. And of course, next Wednesday night will be the last day of the challenge. And and I need to mention this, I am working on launching a podcast pilot. I do not know if I will do this on a regular basis, but it'll be a spin-off. It'll be an inspired spin-off of this show, Ohio is on Fire. And I'll be doing that as part of the challenge, and I'll talk about that next Wednesday night, so stay tuned for that. My final message for the night, I do want to get serious, because I want to talk about the school shootings that's been affecting our country. There was another one in Florida. It happened last week. And so I do want to go ahead and talk about it. I think it's really tragic. I really hate it when people who don't deserve to die and they get murdered. It's just something that really makes me sad. I know it's heartbreaking. And it makes me sad to hear about it. I've never had it happen to my family member, anyone that's in my family, or anyone that I've really loved near and dear to me. So I do not know from experience the pain of having that happen to someone that I know, but it is upsetting. Like, I imagine I'd be distraught. And anyone that was affected by the Florida shootings, they have every right to be upset right now. They have their voices heard. really, this is a time to put aside, when something like that happens, it's a time to put away the political divide, because I kind of feel right now, politically and morally, we are divided. And for the most part, this show, we do avoid religion and political subjects, so this is an entertainment show, so I don't really choke you to death with my personal thoughts. It's very rare that I do speak on it, but for the most part, I am fun. More often than not, I'm fun. But I do want to talk about, I want to touch on school shootings, because yes, people, depends on what you believe in, depends on what political fence you're on, what side of the fence you're on politically. You have your thoughts on school shootings in the United States. I'm trying to think, the what I want to focus on, because one of the big subjects is gun control. Are you against it? Are you for it? I won't focus on that, because I do have my thoughts on it. I want to talk about the individuals itself that are involved in these shootings. I want to talk about those that are they have severe mental issues, the ones that are causing the shootings. So I want to talk about them, and I want to talk about the ones that are dying and the families that are affected by this. I want to focus on that. I want to try to find statistics, school shootings. Because I'm not the greatest at math. I know the first that I heard of, one of the really big event, the really first big shooting that happened in this country that people cared about was Columbine High School back in 1999. That was the thing that caught my attention. It caught everyone's attention. Like, it was unthinkable at the time that this happened. It really broke people's hearts. It was sad. Really unfortunate. I guess the reason why that was a big deal, because it had 15 deaths. It was the second largest mass shooting in American history, because the biggest one was in 1966. It was the University of Texas Tower shooting, where 17 students and staff were killed. That was the second. That was the largest, and then the second biggest was the Columbine High School massacre. When it involves school shootings, and school can be elementary, community colleges, anything that involves education, there have been, I'm counting up right now, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There have been a total of 25 school shootings in this country's history. And since 1999, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there have been 13. Since 1999, half of the school shootings, mass shootings in our history have happened since 99, which has only been 19 years ago. In less than 2 decades, half of our mass shootings at schools have happened. And that's a short period of time. So it is somewhat of an epidemic, because innocent students are dying. And what's causing these people to make the decision to go into schools and shoot people? Why are they doing this? Mental health. Yes, number one cause is severely bad mental health. Because you think of the bad people in history, think of like Charles Manson, Adolf Hitler, anyone that you can think of that murdered someone, that did something awful. It's a correlation. They just had really bad mental health. They had poor anger. They were... Also, not to try to sound too sympathetic, they were hurting. Because a lot of these guys, they are in some type of emotional pain. However, killing someone's not an excuse. Doing what they did was not an excuse. There's really 2 choices you can make. If you are in such emotional pain that you just can't even breathe, there's kind of 2 choices. One, you can get help and realize that there's a better way of living, and to take care of your own life, not hurt anyone else. Because then the other choice is to turn evil, to turn to the dark side, and decide that, you know what, someone else is the problem. Because usually that choice, people have decided that someone else is the cause of their blame, and that's why they go shooting people. They've decided that it's not their fault, it's someone else, or it's some great entity that's caused them to be in pain, and they want to do something about it. So they go get a gun or a knife, any weapon they can get a hold of, and they attack accordingly. And that is sad. It's disgusting. It's really unfortunate. It is wrong. And I want to reach out to those that are in a lot of pain right now, because you don't really see these coming most of the time. I guess we could teach ourselves to see the warning signs, because they are hard to find. I've been told that it's really hard to kind of find the warning signs, because people with mental health issues, that does kind of give them a bad stereotype. Just because you have a mental health issue doesn't make you likely to kill someone. That gives them a bad label. Like, say a guy has someone has Alzheimer's or someone has Down syndrome. That does not automatically mean that they're going to kill someone. And so I urge you, anyone listening at home, do not go to your neighbor. Don't be a troll on the internet and say, "Hey, you got a mental health problem. Oh, you're going to kill someone." Please don't be an idiot about this. Anyone that's smart, that cares, knows the difference. I kind of think there are some warning signs with those that wish to kill. They blame the warning signs are that they are sick all the time, but they're also very angry. Like they're angry at not them, they're angry at someone else. Like they blame another country. They blame an ex-girlfriend for their problems. They constantly talk of revenge. Some people do speak of revenge. They say, "Oh, I'm going to get a gun and kill that person, blah, 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 blah." They're going to kill their whole family. People do speak of it. And so most of the time people blow it off. Because I think some people, there are those, they'll say it out of anger, but then they don't act on it. They just let it alone, and then people just ignore it. Then there are those that are very serious. They do eventually act on it. They threaten to bomb their local school. They say, and then people think it's a joke. And then when it happens, like, "Hey, I could have done something to stop this." And you know what? I hate to see people suffer like that. I hate to see innocent people die that don't deserve to die. No kid, no student deserves to die. And I am very fortunate that that's never happened to me in the time that I went to Cox School, or when I went to high school, or when I've been to Sinclair or Wright State. That it's never happened to me or to that community to such a high degree of hatred and violence. I hope it never does. I really hope it never happens to your kid or your neighbor's kid. I really think the important step I think most people would agree with is the warning signs. We need to act on warning signs. Like, if you know someone that has said something violent, they have threatened violence to groups of people, they threaten to kill, even if they're and trust me, if they're angry, and they're angry, like, they're not joking, they're angry, they're threatening to hurt people, do something about it. Report it to an ethics counselor, report it to a parent, report it to anyone that will listen to you, and they will give you good advice. And if it's severe enough, like if you feel like the action is intimate, call the cops. Call the cops, say, "Hey, they threatened to do this. Nip it in the bud right now." Because then that stops it. Because if you can kill the plant, if you can kill the seed, there will never be a plant. And that's really my opinion. Let's stop it before it happens.